Hello, in this video I'm going to talk about how you can go about booking a professional speaker. The first step is probably the most difficult one, and it's all on you. And this is where you've got to decide what your audience needs and wants. You need to think about the event, the flow, the venue, the timing, and you need to decide what kind of speaker is best for your needs. What topics they'll talk about, what background they've got, also what of course is going to sell tickets if that's what you've got to do. You need to figure that out. So really be clear about what it is you're trying to achieve for the event and start from there. The next stage is quite a simple one. You need to do your research, and this is where you hit Google, this is where you hit your contacts, and you need to ask people about who does good speaking, who's got a reputation. The best way to find a great speaker is a recommendation, somebody who's seen someone who you trust, and go with that recommendation. So that will really help you. If you haven't got that, then yes, of course, you can go online, you can check websites and all sorts of things. Make sure you look at showreel videos, make sure you look for examples of where the speakers talked, and check out their LinkedIn profile as well. That'll give you some clues about, are they really a good speaker, or are they just putting on a good show busy glamour that's luring you in. Once you've got your shortlist of speakers, it's time to start doing the reaching out. And there are a number of ways you can do this. You can book a speaker by contacting them directly. Of course, if you want to book me, you'd go to www.alistair.live, fill in the form, and off we go. That's one of the ways. But you can also book speakers like me through speaker bureaus. Now, these are groups that represent a number of speakers, dozens, if not hundreds of speakers. And these will be professional bookers. They will do this day in, day out. And there's a lot of benefit in going through a speaker bureau because they'll look out for your interests. They'll help you to identify the best speaker. They can do some of that research for you. They can also help you through the contractual aspects, and they can help you with the negotiation. They'll keep the speaker happy. They'll keep you happy. A speaker bureau can do a wonderful thing for you. Most of the speakers who are represented by speaker bureaus are not exclusive to that speaker bureau. So actually the most important thing you need to do is find a bureau that you trust, with people that you like, people that you enjoy working with, people that you can trust. Of course, if you've got an existing relationship with a speaker bureau, go with them. You know them and they know you, it's easy. If you haven't, then you can reach out to a speaker bureau. It's entirely up to you. The third way is to go to an agent. And now there are some speakers, celebrities, former athletes, people like that, who may be exclusively represented by one agent. And if you want that particular speaker, you're going to have to work through that particular agent. Now that's fine, but it does mean that your options are limited and you're going to have to work to their rules. Now reach out to them, see if they're available, and off you go. It's pretty simple. At this point, you know who your speaker is, so now is the good times. You can reach out to them and actually start the process. So either with the help of the agent or the bureau, or directly by booking with the speaker, you need to have a briefing call or sometimes a meeting. 95% of the time for me, it's a call, because that's all that's needed. Sometimes a video conference, doesn't really matter. At this point, you're going to talk to the speaker, and yet they will want to know what the event's all about. If they're a good speaker, they'll be asking questions about the audience, about what you're trying to achieve, about the other speakers who are there. That's what's going to give you a lot of confidence that they know what they're doing. You may want to have a briefing call, if you haven't booked anyone yet, with a couple, maybe 3 speakers. Don't waste your time or theirs by trying to talk to dozens and dozens. It won't help you. Pick out the best ones and talk to them. Very often, if you've done your work well, the first speaker you have a call with will be absolutely awesome. You say, right, let's do it. Let's make this happen. Now, when I'm on the other end of a briefing call, I've got a big job to do. I have this booking agreement document, and it's got loads of stuff on it that's important to me. So I want to know, I write down all of the event background, I write down about the audience, the size and the goals. I ask what success looks like. These are the sorts of things that the speaker wants to figure out, because for me, I'm also working out, is this a speaker job I want to take on? And is this an audience that I can really work with and do some amazing work for? If everything's lined up, at that point, you're going to enter into a contract or some sort of formal agreement. Sometimes it's just an exchange of emails. If you're going through a bureau or an agent, then absolutely there will be a legal contract. You sign it, the speaker signs it, happy days, off we go. Now, the next 4 stages of the process are largely invisible to you. If you've got a good speaker, then they'll be doing all this stuff behind the scenes. The first thing they'll be doing is they'll be drafting out a flow. They'll be thinking, okay, what am I going to cover in this talk? I've got 30 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever it is. What can I cover? And they'll be figuring out the topics that they can cover, they can work through. The next stage is storyboarding, and that's where the speaker will be trying to figure out the how they translate the topics and the flow that they've got into a narrative. Now for me, I use this sheet here. It's very boring. It's basically rectangles on a piece of A4 paper. But this allows me to map out slide 1, slide 2, slide 3, slide 4, and so on. I do this way because that's how I work. I get all of the ideas down. I do all the creative brainstorming on paper and pen, and then I go to actually creating this thing, which of course is the next stage. The 8th stage is where the speaker designs the materials for you. They'll be putting it together. There may be videos, there may be all sorts of stuff that they'll be packaging together. It really depends on the speaker and their personal style, but also all the logistics and the planning side. Now you may get involved in this, but more likely if you've used a bureau or an agent, they'll be handling all of this behind the scenes. Things like the travel, the hotels, the logistics, the audio-visual requirements, all of that stuff gets agreed at this point, so then we know exactly what's going to happen on the day and everything's going to run smoothly. Final stage that we're involved in and you're not involved in is rehearsals. Any good speaker, doesn't matter how much experience they've got, is rehearsing. At least 3 rehearsals in front of the mirror, in front of cameras, whatever it takes for us to really work out the flow and make sure we know what happens at each stage so that we're completely ready to deliver. If we've agreed a 30-minute keynote, a professional speaker will deliver a 30-minute keynote. Please try to avoid saying to us 5 minutes before, we're a bit over time, can you do it in 15 minutes? There's nothing that makes a speaker's life more difficult than that. So if we agree on a time, we will work to that and we will finish on that time. That's what you're paying for. That's the skill of a professional speaker. At last, we've reached the final stage, and that's the delivery. Now, if everything's gone well, things should run super smoothly, and we are going to knock it out of the park for you. I hope that's given you a few ideas about how to book a professional speaker. There's a lot involved, but if you work with the right people, professional speaker, good bureau, good agent, good people around you, it really can be quite simple. Good luck.